Oh, I think it's Steph for a number of reasons.
Wow.
One is because more is expected of Steph. Steph is an all-time great player, and so more is expected of him. And by the way, and this is not hating, this is just an objective reading of history, of all the true pantheon guys, take the top 12, 15 guys in league history, the only guy in the modern era, the last 50-some years, who has had as many truly bad finals games as Steph is the late, great Kobe Bryant. And in Kobe's defense, the majority of Kobe's were that he had a handful that first finals when he was a kid, and then the 04 finals were bad for him. Brew, you look quizzical, but you go through the box score, Steph has had what you could call 6 truly bad finals games. There's nobody else in the modern era that has that, unless you want to ding, you could argue maybe ding Kareem when he's in year 20 in the finals, if we want to add those up. But talking about guys throughout the prime of their career. So that's the first reason pressure's on Steph. The other reason I would argue the pressure's on Steph, Brew, is not just he just had a bad game, but if he has a mediocre game today or tomorrow and they lose, that game 7 pressure is going to be, I don't want to say unlike anything he's ever faced, but when he's faced it, he hasn't been amazing. Game 6 against Toronto, not great. 6 for 17, 21 points. And if you remember, missed the shot that could have won him the game. Game 7 against Cleveland, 6 for 19 in the game. He called it the worst game of his career. Now, he was outstanding, down 3-1 to the Thunder in those 3 Western Conference Finals games. But they haven't faced a lot of adversity, Brew, in the finals. And large part of that's due to Steph's brilliance. But when they have, he hasn't delivered his best moments. So I think there's pressure on him just to avoid the Game 7. And because of the legacy stuff, and because he was bad in Game 5, for all those reasons, I think there's a lot more pressure on Steph.
Well, look, I'm going to check on your statement about all these Pantheon legends not having 6 bad finals games. First of all, some of them haven't played in as many as Steph. He's played in over 30 now. I know, Isaiah Thomas had a couple 10-point finals games. Magic's had a 10 turnover finals game. Bird had a couple 8-point finals games. So
Magic and Bird both have 3.
But just 3?
So go ahead.
Just 3 bad finals games? That's it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to look that up. But anyway,
look it up.
I think the pressure, to answer Jenna's question, is more on Jayson Tatum. Simply because of this reason. His back's against the wall. Like, if Steph doesn't play well and they lose tonight, they got another game. They live another day. I get it, Game 7 will be tough. Anything can happen. But they still live to see another day. If Jayson Tatum doesn't deliver and they lose, it's over. It's done, and we'll never hear the end of it from Wilds. All right? So Jayson Tatum has the most pressure because he's facing elimination. And here's the other reason, Nick. Jayson Tatum, I think, has to be great tonight for the Celtics to win. Because for the Celtics, this has become their stars need to get it done. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum have to carry them because the role players have disappeared. Marcus Smart's playing okay, but the role players have disappeared. Look at this over the last few games. So Al Horford, after scoring 26 in Game 1 and looking tremendous, he's got 30 points in the last 4 games. All right? Derek White is shooting 28% from the floor in the last 3. Grant Williams has averaged 3 points a game in the last 2, and Peyton Pritchard 0 for 5, 1 point in the last 2 games. So the other guys, this team that was getting contributions from everywhere to win throughout the postseason, even as Tatum and Brown led them, now it's about Tatum and Brown. Those two have to step up, and mainly Tatum because he is their superstar, Wilds. As far as Steph, Klay's averaging 21 over the last 3. Wiggins is giving you 20 a game over the last 3. Steph's still way up there in the high 20s over the last 3. And then Jordan Poole's found his groove. So Steph doesn't have to be as great for them to win as Tatum does.
And there's no uncertainty about who Steph is. Steph's legacy is written in ink.
Right.
And as we've been talking about on this show, Jayson Tatum's legacy, pencil, maybe an erasable pen. But, like, is he a superstar? Yes. I'm like, well, I could see erasing that, bring him down to a star. I think it's going to be the Celtics as a whole, the coaching staff and the players, should sit Jayson Tatum down or just stand around in a nice circle and be like, Jayson Tatum, you carry us this game. You do it. And I think that will relieve pressure. I think it's like, okay, I'm the guy. Because, Nick, I think there's an uncertainty can breed pressure. Should I take it? Should I defer? Should I pass the ball now? Should I really take this shot? I think the Celtics need to come up and say, Tatum, lead us to victory, and that will alleviate some pressure that I think will be on Tatum. I think the uncertainty of, like, well, should I be the guy? Should Jalen be the guy? Man, Al Horford led the team in scoring one time. Let's get Marcus involved. Oh, there's Derek White sitting out there on the perimeter. I'll get him a shot. Grant Swiss out there. No, man. Be the star, be the leader, and I think that will alleviate any pressure where he knows, like, all right, they're going to live and die with me. That feels okay. It's a singular
But I don't
focus.
think in a game 6 at home, I don't think they are going to live and die with Tatum. Listen, Wild, you've been arguing Tatum hasn't had a great game yet this series, but they've won twice. The first game, they 3 for 17, and they won, and that was on the road. So, like, I think that it is far less likely for the Warriors to be able to survive a bad Steph game. But you guys are talking about legacies and Steph's legacy. Let's paint this picture for a moment. Let's say the Warriors win, okay? The Warriors win, and Steph duplicates, instead of 0 for 9 for 3, call it 1 for 9 from 3. He doesn't have another 0 from 3. But has the same type of game he had in game 5. And Wiggins has a big game, whatever it is. I still think Steph will run away with Finals MVP. But, Brew, Wiles just said Steph's legacy is written in pen. If they were to win tomorrow, and Steph has 17 points on, 7 of 23 shooting, isn't part of what's written in pen that was seemingly, oddly, never at his best in the finals? Of course, there's this game to grab and that game to grab. But as far as a start to finish, outstanding finals, if he has a second bad game, even if they win, isn't that part of it? I think that's part of. Now, I give Steph credit. He's like, I don't, in wins or losses, he's like, I don't rank my performances. I'm just glad we won. He kind of had the same, attitude after game 4 and game 5, even though his performances were so different because they won them both. But don't you think that's a reality? That even if they win, if he's bad, that is part of the story?
To some people that I would call haters, I'm going to say to you, Nick, what I've often said to Skip Bayless, like, you're holding Steph to a LeBron James standard. He's not LeBron James. LeBron has played well in every finals game, most of them. And Steph's not LeBron, as great as he is. And I said it to Skip when he holds LeBron to a Michael Jordan standard. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Jordan never lost in the finals. So Skip holds him to this absolute perfect standard. No. And so Steph, the legacy, if they win tonight, he has 17 points. Heck, I'll take 17 points. That's actually really good. Not for Steph, but it's not a bad game. All right? And they win. The legacy is 4 championships. Period.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.